My name is Andre Carpenter. I am the Assistant Director slash Director of Student Outreach and Support here on the St. Pete campus. Just so you all know, we do have this office on each of our campuses, St. Pete, Tampa, and Sarasota, Manatee. And here in our, or excuse me, on our campus, it is myself and it is the Senior Support Coordinator, Mr. Cade Mead. So today I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about the process of student outreach and support in regards to when you all send in referrals, right? We know that there are times when you see a student and you know that we exist, but sometimes you may not know when to refer. And you may not even be aware of what that process looks like. So I want to give you a little bit of that today. All right. So I am doing this on Teams. I don't know about you all. Sometimes I'm not the biggest fan of Teams, and maybe it's because I don't know how to use it as well. But I'm going to try to present through here the best way I know how. But I'm sure you all will get that information. Okay, so let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. And I'm going to share. Hopefully, it's this right one. All right, let's see. It says PowerPoint Live. It says, oh, look at that. Look at that. And we got some slides. People, we've got some slides. Okay. So, again, I am the Assistant Director, official title of Student Outreach and Support. And then we have our Senior Support Coordinator, Mr. Cade Mead. You all, just for information purposes, Cade and I can do majority of the same things, handle majority of the same cases. Typically, I'm going to handle more of the critical or elevated cases, but in a situation where I'm not available, Cade is the second in command there to be able to process the cases or process the referrals that come in. Okay. Sometimes we do have an intern. We have had an intern for a couple of semesters. Coming up here spring, we will not have an intern. It will just be us two. All right. So what is SOS? Now I put this in here because I think it's important that we talk about the difference between SOS and Socat. Now we say stuff like, hey, I'm going to send in a Socat referral. And while it's going to get to the exact same place, for you all's back knowledge, or I just want to make sure that we understand the difference. SOS is our office, the Office of Student Outreach and Support, right? It's the office that handles all the referrals. And we'll talk a little bit later as you look down there at the bottom. We also manage the St. Pete Feedable Food Pantry. I'm touching base on that because before it had a different name, but we have aligned with Tampa now as they are the Feedable Food Pantry. We are the St. Pete Feedable Food Pantry. And we also manage the reverse vending machines. These are the machines. There's one outside of Bayboro Hall and one inside of the USC. These are the machines you can put your plastic bottles or cans in for sustainability and recycling. We manage those, clean them, empty them, make sure they're running properly, all those things. So our office does that, and we get the referrals that you send to us, and we process them as if kind of like a social worker. As soon as they come in, our processing time hopefully is to get to it that day, if not by the very next day. Again, if something comes in over the weekend, which means our operating hours are typically 8 to 5. So if something comes in after 5 p.m., let's say on a Friday, we probably won't get it until Monday morning. If it is an emergency, we will probably get notified by UPD or by the dean's office to let us know something happened, and then they'll kind of let us know if things have already been taken care of and what we needed to do on Monday morning. Okay, SOCAT. SOCAT stands for Support, Outreach, and Care Action Team. So SOS manages, or excuse me, facilitates the SOCAT team meetings. The SOCAT team has different people on it, different campus partners. We have someone from housing on it, accessibility services, the wellness center, and several different campus partners make up the Socat team. Typically, if a referral is sent to us, we are typically going to go on to a rating system that will let us know whether it should be handled, I'll say in-house, as in just myself or Kate can just go ahead and take care of it, or whether it needs to be reviewed by the Socat team. And I'm going to get in that here just a little bit more in a second. And this PowerPoint won't be too long, but I want to go through the processes. Okay, so SOS versus Socat. SOS is the department. Socat is really a team. So whenever you see that, and you're going to say, I'm going to send in a Socat referral, it's fine. You can say that, but just know that not every referral goes to the Socat team. Every referral comes to SOS, and we have to decide whether or not we get to handle it, just myself and my senior support coordinator, or if it's going to go in front of the Socat team. So we try to get to everything. See, there says processing time. We try to get to everything within the same day. If not, definitely by the next day, because we don't want it to linger. There's only a handful of times where that doesn't happen. And that could be for several different reasons, but we are managing that, and we typically stay on time. What we use is something called the NBITA risk rubric, rating rubric. The NBITA is our association, just like there's like the ACA or the APA or whatever. NBITA is our association that we go to that provides a lot of the information or guidelines for how we rate student cases. And we use their rating system, which is mild, moderate, elevated, or severe. And actually, I believe that just recently changed some of the verbiage. But what happens is a referral comes in, we process it, we do a quick assessment of what the rating is going to be, whether mild, moderate, elevated, or severe. If it is mild or moderate, we begin to do outreach immediately. If it is elevated or severe, which I will talk about here in just a second, that will go in front of the Socat team. Okay. So don't worry if you can't really see and or read the risk rubric right now. I'm going to just sort of explain the colors and it'll be fine. So just so you know, if someone comes in and, like I said, they need to be rated, what we'll do is we'll look at this scale and we will see, all right, if it's low, low has developing, like I said, it's a low developing mild issue. They just haven't turned in a few things that you're concerned about them. That's probably going to be like kind of a mild issue. Moderate is probably a little bit more that you're not just concerned. They've missed like 8 classes. You've emailed them. You ain't heard from them. Their grades are going down. We would probably elevate that to moderate. So there's numbers on the side there: 0, 1, mild, 2, moderate, 3, elevated, and 4, critical. Actually, that's one of those language changes. It used to be severe. Now it's critical. But we will go up and down that scale and kind of see where on the left there, the D scale, we'll see where your referral kind of places, right? Based off of what it says there. And some of it will say the student is going through stress and is handling it appropriately, or the student is going through stress and there's inappropriate behavior in the classroom or something like that. And so based off what the referral says, the higher it goes up the list. And so mild and moderate, Kate and I are able to just do in-house. We will go ahead and process that, which means work it through the system, and we will begin to do outreach, contacting the student via phone or email or whatnot, trying to get them to have a meeting with us. Most of our meetings are going to be virtual. We just provide that option because it's easier for the students to meet us anywhere, as long as they can jump online, but they can meet us in person if they want to. All right. And obviously if we have the availability. Now, if you send us something and it says the student was in my class, which we have had happen. The student was in my class and we had a report due or paper due. And in the paper they wrote, yeah, every day I'm depressed and think about wanting to die. Right. That does come across. I'll say absolutely. We will look into that. That doesn't necessarily mean the student is saying that they have an active suicidal ideation. But for the sake of safety, I would say go ahead and send that to us as you all have before. Go ahead and send that to us so that we can have a conversation with the students and make sure that they don't have active suicidal ideation. And maybe that was just a thought that they were processing as they were working on the philosophy paper or something. So we'll kind of talk that out with them. But if you see something like that, please go ahead and send that to us. That type of situation is probably more elevated, more severe, will probably go to the Socat team. Now, we don't rate it per se if it's elevated or severe. Like, we don't put it in the system as, oh, it is elevated, it is critical right then and there. We will get it, send it to the Socat team, and the Socat team gets to decide all together whether it's elevated or critical and how we're going to handle the outreach. Because maybe we don't want to just send that person an email. Maybe somebody on the team has already met with that person. Since we've gotten the referral and maybe they've talked to them, maybe there's a different direction we need to go. So that's sort of how we rate the students that you send us, from mild all the way up to critical. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on this slide. That's pretty much the same thing. So don't worry about that. That's the same kind of conversation. Is just this provides different interventions, and that's kind of how we use that scale. What are some of the interventions for somebody who's just mild or moderate, and then it goes all the way up. All right, so when you send us a referral, here's our typical outreach protocol. If it is a mild student, again, on day one, we will probably send a letter and just say, hey, would you like to come and meet with us? Probably also do a phone call. Would you like to come and meet with us? Then as the days go on, we sort of wait. We keep them in the system. We haven't heard anything back from them. Day 4, we reach back out. Day 11, we probably reach back out, but we will go ahead and close the case because it's a mild case. We reached out. The student has not reached back to us. So we will send them a resource letter that has different department links on it. So they can literally click on financial aid and it goes to the financial aid page. They can click on accessibility services and go to the accessibility services page. We'll send that letter to them and we'll go ahead and close that case. If they do respond back to us with a, oh, yes, I do want to meet, we'll obviously put them on the calendar and we'll have a meeting with them. And we try to then update you all who sent the referral. We try to update you all and let you know this student did meet with us and we're working with them. That doesn't always, again, that's one of the things we have to kind of streamline a little bit better, but that is something that we attempt to do. Now, also, if you send a referral and on day 1 or 2 or however many days it is, we contact the student does talk to us and they say, no, I don't need any help. Thank you. We say that's fine and we let it go, and we go ahead and we might just go ahead and send the resource letter and let you know that they declined our services. Moderate, similar way, it's just the days change. So instead of it just being day 1, day 4, day 11, because it's a little bit higher, we contact them on day 1, on day 4, and on day 6. And then on kind of day 7, that's when we would kind of close it out because we see that, we've contacted them a little bit one extra time. And we also don't want to burden the student by by bothering them over and over again. All right, let's go over wellness checks real quick. You have to forgive me. I'm having a little bit of I don't think it's a cold. I'm getting over something. So wellness check. A wellness check simply is, most of the time, if it is a student, even if you send a referral into us and it was mild, right? But we really can't get a hold of the student. We start finding out nobody has seen them for a while or something like that. We may end up doing a wellness check. 9 times out of 10, the wellness checks are done for those cases that are going to be a little bit more in the elevated or critical range, and we're trying to reach a student and we can't. So the first thing we'll do is we'll check to see if that student is on or off campus. If they're on campus, we will try to have the RA contact them. and see if they can, put them in contact with us. But if the RA can't find them, we may end up having UPD get involved and see if they can kind of help find the student. And then if they are off campus, you have to forgive me, I'm working from home today, so if you hear any dogs in the background, that's why. If they are off campus, we couldn't find them, we will call the local sheriff's deputy's office, local sheriff's office in whatever county that their address on file is in. And we will contact that county and we will say, hey, we would like to do a wellness check for this particular student. This is their address. And they typically will send the sheriff's deputy out there, and then they will call us back with whatever they find, whether they found the person and talked to them, or whether they didn't find the person, and we will kind of take it from there. Excuse me, again, I apologize. So that is our process. All right, that is our daily process. We get referrals in, we look at them, we process them, we rate them, and then we provide that outreach to them. When should you refer a student? You all have been doing great. I think you should continue to refer as you have, meaning if it's something that you can handle in class, don't worry about referring that student to us. If you can talk to that student, you all make a plan for that student's academic success. There's no need to really send us anything. However, if as you're talking with the student, you find out that there's more that was involved in the reason why the student's academic success wasn't good, their grades started slipping, maybe because they got affected by the hurricane, or they did have a death in the family, or they're dealing with anxiety, or whatever, then go ahead and let them know first. Let me say this really clear. If you can, let them know you're going to send in a referral. We hate surprise attacking people and like, hey, did you know we were going to contact you? And they're like, no, I have no idea who you are. Please try to let them know you're going to send in a referral. There are going to be some students who are not going to want you to send in a referral. And I think you have to use best wisdom. Again, if this is something where it is a situation where there might be harm to the student or harm to somebody else, or, it is sort of elevated, like they're really dealing with a lot of blocks, use your best judgment. But we prefer if you can go ahead and let them know that you are going to refer them so that they know we'll be contacting them. But step one is we, identify the student's needs. What do they need? Two, if you see that they have some other things, know when you think you need some collaboration. If it's outside of the classroom, that's when you might need some collaboration. That's when you can refer to us so we can help point them in the right direction and get them connected with some other campus partners. Especially if the student wants to learn more about what we have to offer. So we're going to process that. Step 3 is to monitor and follow up. We monitor the students as much as is needed, meaning if it's a mild contact and we do get in touch with them, we're not going to follow up as much with the mild student. We'll give them the information, they'll pretty much be done, and then they can reach back out to us if they want. Students who are typically more elevated or critical, we do put on a follow-up task, system. There's tasks in our system that say, follow up with an email at this time, follow up with a phone call at this time. So we do that. The other thing that you can do in referring a student is, if you see a student is having some academic troubles and they may need to withdraw from the class, you can send them our way and we can talk to them about the ARC process. I just wanted to be quick. The ARC process is not for everybody coming through our office. Our office is not the registrar, but we do work with the registrar in that students who need a medical withdrawal or a withdrawal with cause for some major reason. And the reasons that come our way typically are death of a family member, hospitalization, mental health issues, hurricane stuff, homelessness. So those kind of crises, right? Definitely refer them to us, send them our way so that we can talk to them about the ARC withdrawal process. And as long as they have the proper documentation, which is usually the medical form, if it's medical related or mental health related, or documentation, that talks about them going through a crisis, we typically will approve that withdrawal. And it's a withdrawal with cause, a WC. Something I failed to mention a little bit earlier was that if a student is more elevated or critical, and we keep reaching out to them and they have not reached back out to us, we will put a hold on their on their account, which will prevent them from registration for next semester. It is a health and wellness hold. To be honest, it's simply there to say, hey, this was such a critical nature. Before you continue on, we need to make sure this is taken care of. And usually, once students, if they are shaking us and not wanting to see us, once they find out that they have a hold on their account, they are quick to give us a call and schedule that meeting. Okay. Almost done, you guys. 5 more slides. Want to let you know the other thing we do is the St. Pete Feedable Food Pantry. If food insecurity is very, very big across the nation, across college campuses, it's bigger than what we think it is. So if you know that there is a student that I don't know how they would come up in how this would come in conversation, but if they are struggling with food, you can send them to the food pantry. The pantry is in the same office as SOS. So at the end here, you'll see the address, which is SLC 2400. But the food pantry is in our office. They can just come in and they can scan a little QR code that we have, and they put in their U number in one other piece of information, and they can just open the bag and just throw stuff in and shop. It is free. We don't ask a whole lot of questions. We try to keep it as anonymous as possible. They can also get online to the USF St. Pete Food Pantry website, and they can order online as well. If they order online, we will see that through an email. We will fill up a bag for them and put their U number on it, and then they can actually just come and pick it up at a time that we're both mutually available. Real quick on this slide, if you look here, it says something about new refrigerated locker on the way. Those are here. We hope to launch those. No, we will launch those spring 2025. There's still some minor details to work out in the computer system that runs it. But as soon as that happens, what we would like to do is those students who do place an online order, when we do fill their bag, we will walk their bag over to that locker system, and we will put their food in there as it is refrigerated. And then the student can come pick it up anytime they want to. So even if we are closed because it's before 8 o'clock a.m. or it's after 5 o'clock p.m., they can go over there and they can use their cell phone, use an app. And once they do a certain thing, the door will pop open. They can get their stuff and they can close it back. We try to make it as smooth and as anonymous and as remove a lot of the stigma as possible. I actually already explained the ARC petitions there, but one of the things that I didn't explain is this last dot. It says students can submit a petition at any time, but SOS can only directly make decisions within 6 months of the semester they are petitioning for. So we can make our decision as long as it's within 6 months of the semester they're petitioning for. So for instance, if a student right now is going to petition to withdraw from a class for fall 2024, they have 6 months until after December to get that petition in for us to go ahead and just hit approve. If it's after 6 months, even if I was going to approve it, we have to send it to the registrar's office, and the registrar has to give us approval to approve it. All right. But before that, they don't have to give us that approval. We can just go ahead and do it. All right. We are located in the Student Life Center, Suite 2400 on the 2nd floor. Literally, if you are facing the Wellness Center, your back is to us. Turn around and we are straight. We are right there. Again, typically we're 8 to 5, but we have a lot of different meetings and things and whatnot, and it's just 2 of us. So please give us some leeway. If you happen to come to the door and it's closed or whatnot, it's probably because we're in a meeting at the moment. We do try to maintain confidentiality. So again, we do, because it's only 2 of us, a lot of times we will close the main door to make sure that, we can maintain confidentiality and that nobody's listening at the doors or things of that nature. All right. Again, here is our contact information. Myself and Mr. K. Mead, AR Carp. That is not correct. It should say AR Carpenter, Carpenter. I'm going to have to change that. I just caught that as I'm reading it out loud. AR Carpenter at usf.edu. Here's the telephone number. Of course, these slides will be uploaded. And then we have JK Mead 1 at usf.edu. All right. Normally, I would say, do you have any questions? But this is the time where we are, this is a virtual session. And so if you do have any questions, please feel free to email or call us, and we will take care of it at that time. All right. Thank you very much. I hope this was able to answer your questions. And again, when in doubt, go ahead and refer. But if it's something you can handle within the classroom, you can go ahead and do that. But if you think that they need outside resources, or they are acting up in class and their behavioral outbursts, or all those kind of things that you feel go beyond your scope where they might need something else, go ahead and refer, and then we can get them in contact with someone else. Even if you have already put them in contact with another office, still refer. If you put them in contact with student accessibility services or the wellness center and whatnot, I would say still go ahead and refer them, just so that they have maybe additional support that they may need. All right. Thank y'all very much. Hopefully you have a great day.